Hello, it has been a while since I've done one of these, but I just got the ingredients for this recipe that I'm super excited about. Thing is, I have never made this before. Usually when I do one of these, chatting while baking or cooking things with you guys, I have already made the recipe several times. It makes it easier to just talk about the books that way because I don't have to think too much about what I'm making. That is not the case today. It's been a while since I've finished books just because, and let's be honest, I've been watching the Olympics and not really doing much of anything else except for working and sleeping. But I did finish 2 books recently that I would like to talk about, except I'm not really sure what I want to say about them quite yet, and the same goes for this recipe. I have never made it before. I just heard about it on Dave Chang's podcast Recipe Club, and they were saying that it was the best brownie that they had ever made, so I was decided I really fucking want to make these brownies. So like I said, never made these before. Could go all wrong, but we'll see how this goes. I have my, mental fortitude right here to help me, and I'm just gonna get started. So the first thing they want me to do is preheat the oven at 350 degrees. I usually preheat after I finish mixing everything just because I am so fucking slow with gathering ingredients and everything. I tried to get past that today by pulling out all the stuff and putting it on my counter, and it's easy because I did get some of these items from Amazon, so I dumped it out of the box and didn't put it away or anything, so it's just right here already, all prepared for me to use. So the recipe does call for 3 room temperature eggs, but I forgot to take my eggs out ahead of time, so I have my eggs in a bowl of hot water so that they can cool down. And the same goes for the butter. I forgot to take the butter out ahead of time, but thankfully this recipe, let me tell you actually what I am making. It's called brown butter matcha brownies from Cooking Therapy. And I normally don't like matcha in my food. I think it just tastes really weird because they just make it strangely or something. Not only does this recipe use matcha, it also uses matcha along with white chocolate, and I really am not a fan of white chocolate. I think it's way too sweet. I do have a sweet tooth, but white chocolate is just a bit too much. However, Brian Ford, who was Dave Chang's, chef buddy who was guesting on this podcast episode, said that he hates white chocolate, and yet he thought this was the best brownie he'd ever had. So that's a glowing endorsement in my opinion. I gotta try this. Because of the brown butter thing that she was telling us to do, I am not going to have to wait for the butter to become room temperature. I was going to be lazy and just not brown the butter, because the guys on the podcast said that they didn't really notice a difference when they browned the butter, but because I forgot to take it out and make it room temperature, I'm gonna have to brown it so I can actually use it. They want me to brown it in a pan, but I'm not sure if that means like an actual pan or like this thing. I'm just gonna use this thing because using my big pan is just kind of hard. So the first thing they want me to do is, like I said, preheat the oven, and then I have to grease an 8x8 baking pan with butter and line it with parchment paper. I do not have an 8x8 pan. I have this glass baking dish that I always use for all of my brownie recipes. So I don't even know what size it is, but that is what we are going to use. And greasing with butter is kind of hard, so I'm going to use my spray butter. Oh fuck, here comes the air conditioning. Anyways, so let me just tell you what I finished reading. So recently I read 2 books, and both of them were kind of similar when it comes to themes, I suppose you can say. So the first book that I finished reading was The Hate You Give. And I feel like everyone's already read The Hate You Give, so I don't really have to talk much about it. But basically, it's about police brutality. The main character is this girl named Star. She grew up in this neighborhood that I guess you could refer to as like the ghetto. Like if you are not from the hood, that is what you call it. And the people in the book do refer to it that way. But she goes to a school that is predominantly white. And it's like a kind of a elite prep school, I guess. Like she and all her siblings go there, so they don't really hang out with the kids in their neighborhood as much. But they are still very much a part of that life, just because her father was a former gang member, and he and her mom, even though her mom is now a nurse and very successful, and her father runs like a local convenience store, but the two of them like basically have become successful middle-class black people, and they can afford to send all 3 of their kids to this school, like this fancy prep school. However, they still consider themselves very much a part of this old neighborhood, and this neighborhood, because of where it's located and the populace, like the, I guess, demographics of it, it faces certain problems, mostly from the police, who regularly patrol the area and give the residents a lot of shit. I don't know if anybody else has the same problem I do. I can never get parchment paper to fit into a pan. Like, I know you can cut it and try to like make it fit that way, but even if I cut it, it doesn't really fit. Like, it's just like, okay, I have my scissors right here. I guess I can like snip, but then won't it just go through the parchment paper? I'm not really sure. And how far up does the parchment paper have to go? I really don't know. I guess I will just have to have wrinkly brownies. I'm gonna go ahead and like slice this first. I'm only on step 2 of all this, which is greasing the pan, by the way. This is what I mean. This is how slow I am. And anyways, let me put this pan, set it aside like I said. Okay, so next I have to heat the butter over high heat until it melts. I'm just going to turn this on first, I guess. Yeah, let me turn this on first, and I'll plop the butter in. Actually, it's kind of a hot day, so the butter feels like it's almost room temperature already. It's that consistency of it. All right, I suppose I'll wait. I don't know how long to wait for. She said until it melts, and then I have to turn it to low heat and wait for brown bits to appear. But how do I know if it's like the right brown bits and not just like burnt bits? Like, is it supposed to burn? I don't know. I'm just going to leave it here for a little bit while I measure out the other ingredients. Okay, I'm supposed to add the white chocolate and the matcha to a small bowl. I don't know how small. I'm going to use this bowl because the bowl that I would have preferred to use is currently being used for the room temperature eggs. Oh, the butter's sizzling. Is it supposed to sizzle? I don't know. It is melting though, so I will leave it there for now. I bought myself a 4-ounce block of white chocolate because the recipe calls for 4 ounces. They had like a bag of 10-ounce white chocolate, but I was like, what am I going to do with 10 ounces of white chocolate? So I made sure to get one that was exactly 4. Crap, what is that sound? I don't know what that is. To make that fit in the bowl. I think I'm gonna turn the heat down a little. I don't know if it's supposed to make that alarming noise. Okay, the next step is the matcha. I was supposed to use high quality culinary grade matcha. I don't know, I have matcha tea, but I have like the expensive matcha from Japan, and I wasn't about to use that in this because this recipe calls for like 2 tablespoons, and that is way too much to waste on brownies. Okay, the butter's completely melted, so I lowered the heat to low, but it's still making that weird sound. Hopefully that is okay. I'm going to open the matcha now, and oh my god, there's a pull tab. I hate pull tabs. They never really work out properly for me. Let's see. So I'm going to open this up, and they want 2 tablespoons. And like I said, I had to buy a whole new thing of matcha. About this culinary grade matcha, and I think it's good enough to use for baking brownies. Do I have to sift it? I think I should probably sift it. I have this nice matcha sifter for my matcha that I drink, and I'm going to use it to sift this matcha now. Good grief, is that even a tablespoon? I cannot tell. It just clumps so much. Oh yeah, so back to the hate you give. This is not a spoiler because it's on, I think, the summary, like it's in the summary and on the back of the book and everything, but Star goes to a party and he gets raided, gets busted by cops. Like, you know, in college, I went to several parties that were busted, and all we did was just kind of run away, and we were like, oh crap, hopefully we don't get in trouble with our university administration if we were underage, but that was about it. We weren't really afraid of anything else, but because this is a party in like her neighborhood where I guess the cops tend to profile people based on how they look. Star and her best friend Will are trying to leave this party, and the cops pull them over. And well, it's just one cop, but then this cop You know, I'm not going to go into details. Like, he basically racially profiles Khalil and is like terrified that Khalil is going to do something to him. So well, as soon as, like, I guess Khalil disobeys an order, like, not even really, like, he all he did was just like speak when he wasn't supposed to speak. He opened up the door when he wasn't supposed to, and he was shot. And of course, Star was there, and she witnessed all of this, and it's extremely traumatizing to her. And the rest of the book is just her dealing with the aftermath of this, dealing with how her community copes with this tragedy, because this is one of their own people, and then how her school and like the preppy white kids and like and her teachers and everything, how they respond to it. I am pretty sure I used too much matcha. I cannot tell how much matcha I'm scooping with this tablespoon. Crap, I went over the bowl and now there is matcha over the stove. So I guess it's a good thing I overscooped, because now I'm probably back at the amount that I'm supposed to be at. Okay, it's still making alarming hissing sounds, but I don't see any brown bits forming. I don't know how long it's supposed to take. I kind of wish recipes would all say, should take about 10 minutes or something, so I know if I'm doing something completely wrong. Anyways, I guess I have to wait for that so I can pour the butter into my white chocolate matcha mixture so it can all become a ganache. Maybe the heat's too low. Now it's starting to kind of foam up at the top as if it had matcha in it already. Like, you know, you whisk matcha and it has like that foam layer on top. That's kind of what it looks like. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit just in case. I'm not sure this is working. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that, it says, in a large bowl, combine granulated sugar, brown sugar, eggs, vanilla extract, and salt. They want 1 cup of granulated sugar, but all I have is this half cup measure and I'm planning to use this for all of my measurements because I don't want to wash an extra cup measure. So this is a half cup measure, and one of the other ingredients is only going to require 1/4 of a cup. So that is what we're going to go by. But yeah, so my book club at work actually read The Hate You Give and discussed it over the course of about 5 weeks, and we partnered with different departments on campus to kind of host some discussions around various topics like activism and trauma and just a community, because community is a very big part of this book. Like, you can kind of see how like her neighborhood gets together, and even though people who aren't related still try to help each other out. Oh my god, hold on, that was not 1 cup of granulated sugar, that was only half a cup, so I guess I'll add a little more. I think it's like most recipes are a bit too sweet for me, so maybe I should put less sugar. But this is also my first time making this recipe, so maybe it's not a good idea to mess with it. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 whole cup of sugar, because I don't know if it actually, like, I don't know, like, does it fuck up the recipe if you put less sugar? Like, is it going to make things not stick together? I don't really know. I'm just gonna, whatever, 1 cup of sugar it is. So that's what we're doing. And now we're gonna need 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I ran out of light brown sugar. Like, I think dark brown sugar makes the brownies sweeter, so I bought light brown sugar for this. Where did I put my light brown sugar? Oh, here. I even moved it closer to make it more convenient for myself. Crap, I think I made it too brown. There are definitely brown bits now. Okay, you know what? We're gonna try to see if we can make this work. All right. We're gonna pour this browned, maybe burnt butter into our matcha and white chocolate bowl and see if we can still make it work. Let's go. All right, I don't know if I'm supposed to pour it all in at once or what, but you know what? In it goes. So, what was the second book I read? Oh yeah, so I read Parable of the Sower, which is a book by Octavia Butler that I've heard about all my life, and I have never read it just because I guess, I don't know, I think it's because back in college I read another book by Octavia Butler. It was also a sci-fi novel, and it was just kind of strange to me. I can't remember, I think it's Dawn, like that trilogy, Dawn, with like Lilith, and like Lilith's Brood was one of the ones I read, but we had to read, I think, the whole thing for one of my college classes, and it was just strange. And I don't know, maybe at that time I was just not emotionally mature enough. You know, I think I mentioned before, I aged very slowly in terms of like emotional intelligence and maturity, so I guess I just didn't get it. But it made me kind of avoid Octavia Butler for however long, until like on Discord we have a little like book club that meets every Sunday, and we decided, you know what, we're like, well, actually no, we didn't decide anything. I think we spun the wheel and the wheel happened to land on that one, and then we reread it, and all of us actually really enjoyed it. So this book, I don't know, now that I have finished reading it, I don't know why more people haven't read it. Like, it should be a book that I think every sci-fi fan like should have read. Like, it's that good, it's that important of a book. Oh hey, what do you know? I think it worked out. Dude, look. Oh, it actually melted. I am shocked that actually worked. Like, all the white chocolate melted. Okay, you know what? Now we have a ganache. That is so cool. I am like very pleased right now. I'm gonna put it right here, move this to the side, take a sip of my beer. By the way, I'm drinking this Pilsner from this Torch Pilsner from, oh my god, what's the name of the brewery? Foothills Brewing from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's pretty good. Oh my god, now that the oven's done preheating, it is very hot right here where I'm standing. I knew I would be too slow. I should have waited till after to preheat, but I was so sure I was going to be able to do this. Oh, whatever. Oh shoot, I'm supposed to let this cool for 2 minutes, meaning it has to be moved somewhere that it can actually cool. Alright, I'll leave this here. Okay, where was I? I was barely at the brown sugar stage where I was opening the bag of brown sugar. I didn't even open the bag yet. Holy shit. Okay, here we go. We are opening the bag of brown sugar. Or not, we're supposed to cut to open the bag? Fine, Jesus Christ, like where is the tear tab? Earlier I think I was complaining about the tear tab, and now I want a tear tab. I'm just never pleased with anything, I guess. Alright, so there we go. I've opened the brown sugar bag. I'm gonna just double dip it. Hopefully that works. Holy crap, why am I so blurry? Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they only want a quarter cup. I'm going to try to eyeball a quarter cup because I don't want to grab extra extra tools or anything to measure it out. Okay, so this is about a quarter cup. And it goes. I need to crack the eggs in, then put the vanilla extract and the salt in. Then I'm going to go ahead and beat everything with a stand mixer. And while I'm doing that, I'm probably not going to be talking just because the stand mixer is fucking loud and you won't be able to hear shit. Oh yeah, but back to Parable of the Sower. So this is set in, I don't know, like I guess a dystopian world, but it's like very, very close to our world. I think the story starts in 2026, which is, you know, only 5 years from now. And that is very scary because many of the things that happen in the book are totally things that can happen in our world. Like just the way the world is right now, you don't even need to change anything. And the exact thing in the book can happen. So the main character is this girl called Lauren, and she lives in like, it's this like neighborhood that kind of is set up like a little town. Like they, it's a walled community. And the reason why this is important is because outside of the wall is pretty much a wasteland. Everybody out there, like women get raped, children get killed, everybody gets killed for their like their stuff they're carrying. There's no water. Water is a scarcity in this world because, you know, it's our world, except in the future that Octavia Butler envisioned coming. That and you know what? Like I feel like her vision, like I said, can definitely come true because this walled community is in Southern California, which was kind of scary for me because, you know, I grew up in Southern California, and all the places that they mentioned, they're like, okay, well, this place is now not there anymore, like it's been abandoned, this place has been raided, wildfires are still running amok, that's nothing new over there. There are earthquakes that happen periodically, and of course the water shortage. If you know, I really do think that California is going to have a water shortage problem sometime in the near future. They're already starting to have it in some communities in California, which is, like I said, very scary. What did I forget to do? Oh yes, I need to put the vanilla extract and the salt in and then beat it. Okay, a teaspoon of vanilla and then half a teaspoon of salt. Okay. But yeah, so in this community, everybody kind of has a little like a role that they have adopted just to keep things running smoothly. So my bad. So Lauren's father is like the town minister, but I think he also works at the local university. Like college is still a thing in this world. It's just out of reach for most people. And there are just no opportunities. Like there are no jobs. Families live together in like like one house, like a bunch of just there's 3 or 4 generations crammed into one house, which is happening in some places. Like, like some people have to live like that because, the rent is very high in California and elsewhere nowadays. Just, yeah, there's like a mass exodus from California, and I bet wherever they go, it's going to be the same sooner or later, just because of how the world works. Yeah, it's a depressingly realistic book. The things that happen in there, I feel like they're extra horrifying because you can see it happening to your own community. And like the characters, like the arguments they have, the conversations they have, it's just all so real. Like it's all conversations. Like these are all characters and people that like we all know pretty much, and they are presented here as characters, but they're very believable because they are like I said, people. Like this could be your friend's mom, this could be your own mother, this could be your own family. Just like they're just very true to life. And the book is told in the form of pretty much a journal that Lauren keeps, and Lauren herself is very logical, like super smart. She's only 18, but she doesn't appear 18 to me. Like she seems like she's much more mature. And she, like her father, who is one of my favorite characters, has taught her very well. He's a very good father, a very good teacher, and she's absorbed a lot of the knowledge that has been instilled in her. So like she actually helps teach some of the kids in the neighborhood. So she's her family's a very big like pillar of this community, I guess. But Lauren is also convinced that all of this is going to come down someday. Like this is not going to be able to last, and when that time comes, everybody has to be prepared. So she spends like a good chunk of the beginning of the book trying to get her friends and family to prepare for the inevitable when the world outside, I guess, invades the world inside, because that's, like I said, like there are many people outside who are suffering, and they're going to look at the community inside and see that they have resources, and they're going to get desperate, and they will eventually come in and try to seize all that, just like you see in most zombie novels and other apocalyptic stories. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this stand mixer on now and, mix my ingredients, and then I will come back later on. Right now I have finished whisking together all the ingredients with my stand mixer, and I am sifting flour into the bowl so that I can fold it with my spatula that I think I wasn't supposed to put in ahead of time, but I accidentally forgot and stuck it in. So what else did I want to say about the book that I was talking about? Oh yeah, so basically one of the reasons I like this book so much, and I wonder why I never read it, I wonder why more people don't talk about it, is because the issues that it brings up, like the problems that currently plague our society today. Like we're going through a pandemic, but they always mention the other pandemic, which is inequality, and it's widespread, and it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. And in her world, racism is still an issue. The world has collapsed, yet racism is an issue, and like the I guess income gaps, lack of opportunities, like I mentioned earlier. Just like there are a lot of people that can't read. Just like education is no longer a requirement or even a thing in this part of the United States, because actually that's another thing. The world building is really interesting. So you get to see how like other parts of the United States have done better. So they still have, I guess, more resources. Like Canada still exists and seems to be doing better than like southwestern United States it is. There is still a government in place. There is a president, but what exactly are they doing? I don't know how effective the government is. The police are, the kind of like they are nowadays. Like they don't really do much when you call them, and they still racially profile and all of this shit that like these problems that are not surprising at all, just because of the way our world already is. And Butler wrote this, oh my god, I don't remember, like back in like the 90s or something, or the 80s, like it was a long time ago, and these same problems are still a problem nowadays. But yeah, so I'm done sifting all this flour, so now the next thing I gotta do is fold the ingredients. I don't really know how, this is something I've always struggled with. How do you fold ingredients into, like I think the reason you fold it is because like the batter itself is like delicate or something, so if you whisk it, it like ruins it somehow. I don't fucking know, but like I never seem to fold correctly. I'm like right now I'm folding the flour into into my, green mixture, but I'm like, I don't know, it just looks to me like I'm kind of spooning things back and forth, but we'll see how this goes. All right, so I'm spooning this back and forth, or folding, quote unquote, and oh my god, it really bugs me that my prepared pan is so wrinkly, but we'll just have to deal, I suppose. I don't know if this folding is really working, because it just kind of looks like the flour's just like hanging out there. It's like kind of getting mixed in, but not really. Like I really want to like start like bashing at it, like just like I want to use stronger emotions, and I cannot. So I'm just gonna, I guess, keep folding. What else is in the works? Oh yeah, so the book buffet month has already started. We have our prompts up already. Like we have a tag that is on Amrita's page, which I'll link, and we have our bingo card, which we, I think, announced earlier already. We are starting the month already, and of course, like I said, I have just been watching the Olympics. I haven't even been playing games. Like I feel like I'm like it's starting. I need my fix. I just can't. I don't know how much longer I can go without playing games. Like I just, like I need to take a break from the Olympics or something, or I need to finish the Olympics this week and then just get right back into my games and maybe get like not a head start, but get started on some of the books that I mentioned in my TBR video. This is why I don't do TBR videos, because I think I mentioned 4 books in that video, and I don't remember what all 4 of those books are. And the only one I remember is Food at Sea, because Barnes & Noble screwed up my order. They sent me a manga volume, and it wasn't even like a good one. It was Goblin Slayer Volume 9. I don't know why they sent me that. I have never had any interest in Goblin Slayer, and I don't know why they didn't send me Volume 1, but they sent Volume 9. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe like the ISBNs are similar. Does Barnes & Noble go by ISBN? I don't know. But yeah, okay, so the next step is I already finished folding, or I don't know, not whisking or whatever I was doing. So now I'm going to just pour it into this pan. And oh god, I really don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if you can see how wrinkly my parchment paper is. I actually ripped the parchment paper trying to straighten it out. This is why I should not have even tried to begin with. But yeah, now it's all wrinkly, and there's a hole. And I don't know if that's going to affect anything. Like maybe the brownie mixture is going to go through the hole. Oh my god, there's flour stuck on my spatula. And now it is getting into the brownie batter without really being properly mixed. Okay, whatever. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. Like whatever. We'll have to deal. Gosh, I think it's the white chocolate that's making it so sticky. Like it's all gooey. Like normally, I've made brownies many times before. Never with white chocolate though. I've always made regular, like dark chocolate brownies or something. Oh my god, my oven's been on for so fucking long. I should have waited. Too late now. This looks kind of disgusting. I really hope it turns out well. Oh fuck, why'd I do that? Oh my god, why did I do that? So I tried to like wipe off the mixture bits that are left on the spatula onto the parchment paper, and it's just making the parchment paper like sink into the batter. Oh god, okay, whatever, what a disaster. Well, squirt it in. Okay, that's it. That's all we're doing. Okay, now I'm going to take this and stick it into the oven. And I think we're supposed to bake it for 20 minutes. It says 20 to 30 minutes. That's a really wide range. I don't know. I'm gonna do 25 because that is the middle. Maybe I should only do 20 though, because my pan is not an 8 by 8. It's skinnier, but it's also longer on one side. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Let's just do 25. Okay, so 20 minutes into baking, I took it out, and they said to slam the pan into the counter, but I have a glass pan. That thing is not getting slammed onto the counter. It's supposed to release air bubbles or something, but I didn't do it. I just took it out, and she said to sprinkle it with sea salt flakes. And it took me like 3 years to even get around to buying sea salt, so there was no way I was getting sea salt flakes. I don't even know what sea salt flakes are, or why we need sea salt flakes and not just regular sea salt. But, you know, I put some sea salt on, Might have put too much sea salt. It's really ugly, actually. As you can see, this is where, this is the part I was yelling about earlier. See, this is where my spatula hit. It's all stiff. This is one of the spots I tried to straighten out. Didn't work. But you know what? If it tastes good, then it's fine. She used a 8x8 pan. So, of course, she split it up into 9 slices. Or 9 pieces. I have whatever size this is, but it's a rectangle. So I think I'm gonna do 8 pieces. Let's see how this goes. Eh.
5 hours later.
Oh dear, the really ugly piece fell off. And everything else looks really ugly too. But let me try to lift this out into a plate and see what it looks like. I think I might need to wait for this to cool off a little more because it broke. But it looks kind of like this. And let me see how it tastes. Okay, as I thought, it's a bit too sweet, but it tastes really freaking good. This combination of flavors works. I think it would be better after it's cooled down. I did leave for 20 minutes like they said, but I guess that wasn't enough. But I'm gonna wait till it cools down completely, and then I think it's gonna be better. I like my brownies kind of crispy and hard and not soft and squishy, so yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit. But overall, I think this recipe was pretty successful. Of course, I could have done some things better, but I didn't know what I was doing, let's be honest. One of you who is like maybe a better chef or is just more used to baking, you probably won't have the same screw ups I did. You probably would be able to straighten out your parchment paper for one. So, yeah, I think that's it for me for today. I'm gonna go and finish this brownie and watch the Olympics now. Thank you for tuning in with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.